starting. And we are live.
There it is. Hey, what's up? What's
Very
up,
good
everybody?
stuff. Welcome to our first Sunday night session. Probably not going to be the last because
Weird.
it happens. Well, whatever. I'm just exhausted. How are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, please excuse Stevie and I as we both live very chaotic and very busy lives, but we are very happy to be here with all of you tonight. And on a Sunday, it is weird, right? It's like throwing me a little bit.
I know.
But it's cool.
It's strange, especially considering I always have the same schedule every week.
Yeah.
And like Joe and I were talking before we went live, and I was planning on using my new webcam for the next episode, and I just didn't have time to hook it up with work and everything. So life happens, whatever. Excuse my appearance. I have like 10-hour-old makeup on, and I just wanted to wear a big baggy t-shirt and be fugly with y'all tonight. So that's where we are.
You look great. You always look great. Stop it. You're beautiful. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Believe me, I do too. People would rather look at you. Trust me, because here I am. Hello. And I didn't shave yet tonight. I got the t-shirt on. I'm just chilling here at the crib.
Good stuff. Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight.
Tons.
New reviews came out on HMS, so brand new batch of What's Hot or Not in Horror is available for you to check it out and check these awesome or maybe not so awesome films out. New web series. We can start off with that because I think that's a really cool thing that just came out here recently.
Great. Yeah.
So back, apparently, I live under a rock because I didn't know about it until there was a promoted tweet that I saw a couple days ago for Black Antenna, which is in total, it's a 90-minute long sci-fi film, sci-fi / horror, however you want to look at it, set to the album Rainier Fog by Alice in Chains. And I think that it is a killer concept. And the two first episodes are already out and available to watch. The first 2 episodes are called, I had them here to tell you what they were called, and now they're gone. So whatever. But whatever. It's like the first 2 tracks on the album. So essentially, it is this sci-fi film about 2 aliens that are trapped on Earth, living as humans, and they are apparently trying to build, or the male alien is trying to build an antenna to contact their people to try to go home. And the first episode, and I don't know your thoughts on it, Joe. I did watch both episodes. So the first episode was a little, I don't know. It's not like I didn't like it, but it just felt like, a music video. You know what I mean?
Right.
The second one, they added subtitles of dialogue in. I feel like just within a couple of minutes, I really got a lot of story progression. And I kind of am digging it, because at first I was like, and then now I'm kind of like, oh, cool. I'd like to watch all of them, in succession all at once. You know what I mean? Like a metal opera of sorts.
Right. Yeah, no, it's totally. As far as I go with it, I think it's a concept that hasn't been done in the fashion that they're doing it, probably in my recollection ever. I don't ever recall anybody pulling something like this off. I know that there's been concept albums over the years, and obviously Pink Floyd did The Wall back in the day. But in this fashion with segmentary pieces and so forth.
Well, yeah, where you take an entire album and you make a film out of it. I think that's incredible. If there are other artists and stuff out there who have done things like that, I don't know about it. So bring me up to speed. Let me know about it, someone, because I guess I'm out of the loop. But I don't know. I thought it was really cool. What did you prefer, the first episode or the second? Like, which one did you like better?
The second piece was definitely grittier than the first. It explained more. you can absolutely get a vibe for it. Like I had no idea what I was walking into. In fact, you were the one that turned me on to this, and I had no idea what I was walking into. Sometimes I'm sheltered. I live under a rock because I'm constantly doing, blinders on for other stuff. So I don't see everything that, some things get past me. And that unfortunately got past me. But fortunately enough, Stevie was gracious enough to present me with the link. And
well, yeah, because I thought it was a really great idea, and I can't say that I listen to Alice in Chains too much these days, with the new vocalist and all. Not that I don't think he's talented. It's just not the same to me.
Right.
But I still think that all together as a group, they're a fabulous group of musicians, and I think when you get them together. With you mesh film, like especially indie stuff, like
Right.
so you mesh film and music, something that we've touched on before, horror or even like horror sci-fi with metal and like heavy metal or hard rock or whichever the genre is. I think that the two marry very well. And I think
Agreed.
that this is a really cool concept. And I'm going to watch them as they come out, but I do look forward to binging it. You know what I mean?
No
Like how you
question.
do with the show.
Oh, no question. I mean, this is something that's gonna wrap you up quickly, and you gotta watch the first signs of campy that I look for, bad production, things along that nature, the storyline being blown in 20 seconds, all the things that you don't want to see aren't there, which is great. This has the making to be something very unique and very big, in my opinion. I've never seen a band do this format style. Like I said earlier, Pink Floyd did this years ago with The Wall, complete concept album brought to life. There's pros and cons on the movie, but that was the concept. They brought this entire concept album to life. Okay, Iron Maiden back in, oh my God, now this is I'm going out on a limb here. I'm going to say 80, had to be 82, 81, maybe even 80. Did a concept show where they married metal and magic, which is very
okay.
Yeah. Now this is back during the Paul Diano days. This predates Bruce Dickinson. I'm sorry, and they did a magic show to the first album, set to the songs of the first album, if I'm correct, and if I remember correctly, that's what it was. And somewhere I have an actual VHS tape of this thing. Here we go with the data. I'm all in the goddamn dirt shit again, right? But no, I mean, that's how far back, these concepts and things were flowing. So that's how long that kind of stuff has been in the loop. Going forward to today, this concept with everything else that's been done, in video format or
Well,
concept.
yeah, like artists for decades. I'm not going to bring up one that I'm thinking about just because of all the controversy with the documentary that recently came out. But pop artists, rock artists,
Right.
R&B, rap, every genre at some point or another has made a cinematic adventure out of a music video. They've told a story with it, even maybe over a series of 1, 2, 3 music videos. But this is an entire album in which a story is being told 1 through 10. A 90-minute film has been made with no spoken word. You know what I mean? Like there's no cut scenes. Well, I mean, obviously the rest of it hasn't been released yet, but from what I understand, there's no spoken word. It is 100% the songs from the album Rain Your Fog, which I think is going to be in its entirety really cool.
Brilliant.
And like I said, the second episode, and I did have the episodes here. So the first episode, the one and the second, Rain Your Fog, The second one really did flesh it out a little bit, where, like you said, where you kind of were watching the first one and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, you're right. You're a little lost. Is this, this guy's like some kind of twisted, almost pedophile or a kidnapper?
Yeah. Like you weren't really sure.
Right. This is her uncle, and they're both eating peyote. You know what I mean? What the fuck's going on? But then all of a sudden, they actually start to, to form sentences with, the visuals.
And it kind of progresses a little bit. And I do like how it fleshed out so much just in episode 2. So like I said, I am looking forward to seeing where it will go. And again, for anybody that missed it, this is Black Antenna, directed by Adam Mason.
Yes.
And set to the album Rain Your Fog by Alice in Chains. So people, check it out. The first 2 episodes are available on YouTube. I am hoping that, the next one comes out soon. I guess I'm going to have to follow somebody on Twitter or Instagram or something to try to get some more news about it. But it's cool so far. I think with just 2 episodes out, it's pretty cool.
I thought it was really just more than a novel idea. It's fucking brilliant to me. I think this is something that hasn't been done in the fashion, like I said, that they're doing it in. And there's some firepower. I mean, Adam Mason's no newcomer by any stance. He's been around a long time. One of the notables for me was Luster that he did. Great film. You have Paul Sloan on the writing committee with him, and the 2 of them are just doing an amazing job. One of the coolest features about this is that the 2 aliens are telekinetic, so there's no verbals, like you said. There's no verbal speech.
They just communicate.
Right. They communicate mentally, and you see it on the screen looking like a subtitle. You know what I mean? And I think that the whole concept is just it's pretty fucking brilliant. It's so different from anything else that's out there. Even comparing it back to The Wall and all this other junk, it's just a totally different premise, a totally fresh approach at something.
Well, and then like we live in the digital age,
right?
With shorter attention spans and people who tend to get stuck in their own boxes. So people that might be like, what is, I'm not going to listen to Alice in Chains. This is a brilliant strategy for them because they are merging with a different genre of sci-fi and horror, fans of those 2 genres that maybe never listened to metal or just not into this type of music. They may gravitate toward this series because just of the concept of the aliens in and of themselves. They may say, well, hey, well, fuck it, this is artistic enough for me. I'm the type of person that likes this type of thing. So it's really great to expand your audience,
Right.
Get more listeners, on both sides of the coin, maybe listeners of Alice in Chains that aren't so much into sci-fi or horror or shit like that. Maybe they're going to start to be like, oh, well, this is kind of cool. Maybe I should check out this director's other works, or maybe I should watch more films or shows like this, and maybe I should support indie projects more often, so I really think it's brilliant all the way around.
Agreed, totally. Which leads me to another facet of horror movies, and that would be cannibals. We're going to spin this into the next phase.
Oh, yes. So, that kind of just goes right into our next topic here. So the latest round of reviews on the horror show on horrormetalsounds.com. So I was recently given a screener for Cannibal Club. It is a Brazilian horror film. I'm not just to kind of, preface this, I'm not too familiar with Brazil's political climate. I don't like to involve myself in politics. It's not something that interests me. Whatever, maybe I'm an ignorant, Sal, whatever you want to call me. I just
Not at
don't
all.
care enough. I like my fiction to be fiction and fun, and I don't needlessly need to, depress myself. So anyway, I believe the film, I mean, it's definitely a satire. It is a wonderful satire. But I do believe that perhaps a bit was lost on me politically, because the opening of Cannibal Club is very strong. The closing, very strong. Everything in the middle was extremely dialogue heavy. And like I said, I believe it was meant to be a social commentary. However, maybe on foreign audiences, it will fall a bit flat. So not to say that it's a bad movie. It just could have used a little bit more action. And I do feel that if you're going to have a film, first of all, titled Cannibal Club, second of all, advertising cannibalism in a horror film, you should probably have some cannibalism in it. not to say that there wasn't, but we just get very little of that. I did like how, yeah, have something, please, come on. Even, just sit down, they're sitting down to dinner and that they're eating people, but show me how that person got on that plate. I'd like to see that.
Hannibal Lecter biting the cheek off. I mean, that was, come on now, that is fucking cannibalism.
Well, yeah, the last cannibal film I watched that stood out to me was Green Inferno, which fucking just awesome movie. Sick fucking shit. I loved it to death. But like that's kind of what I expected going into the film, because it really kind of plays itself up to be this, especially when in the first couple of minutes you're really treated to some great violence and gore, and then it starts here and then it kind of goes down and then it comes back up and then it's done. And it's a very short film. It's only, I believe, 80 minutes long. So at 80 minutes long, I really feel like they would have injected a lot more action into it. But it was very dialogue heavy. Again, there was some humor. It's definitely a satire. I feel like everybody gets what's coming to them in the end. And so, it does come full circle, but just not my favorite. Not my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have not watched that. That's something I haven't seen yet. And,
yeah, it is out now. It came available for on demand March 5th. So anybody can watch it now. A couple of other films that we reviewed this round, of course, Ken's Lords of Chaos review. Right. That's part of the batch, of course. And then Robin reviews Deadly Detention, which is kind of a throwback vibey Breakfast Club horror film that she thought was really fun. And another not so great movie called The Perfect Host, which is supposed to be very Southern Gothic and just, didn't do it for her. PJ is kind of like our resident anthology reviewer. At least once around, one of the films that he reviews is like an anthology film. This one that he does this round is Terror Tales. He said it was pretty fun. And then I reviewed a really horrible movie that's not even worth me mentioning. And then, of course, my other review this round was Happy Death Day to You, which was the Happy Death Day sequel. And I love that movie. I don't know if you've ever seen the first one.
I have not. I will.
It is so fun. It's just, it's refreshing when horror can bring something new to the table and be fun and silly. And just, you can tell that everybody had the best of intentions to do nothing but make a great fun film for fans of the genre. And I was a little nervous when seeing the sequel, because as more details leaked and, you see the trailer and everything like that, you wonder to yourself, well, aren't they just regurgitating the same thing from the sequel or from the first film in the sequel? And then you kind of like get nervous, but it really didn't disappoint. Once the ball got rolling, I was, laughing, having a good time. It was a great film. I do like the fact that in both films there are Easter eggs to like older films. Like the first one, obviously, it's a concept of you're stuck in a time loop, but we're going to put a horror twist on it. So of course they give, they give a nod to Groundhog Day, and then in the second film there are a lot of Back to the Future nods, and I thought that was fun. And they really just found a way to take everything from the first film and make it better. And I really, really loved that. And I was super, super stoked that they didn't ruin the franchise. Nothing was ruined for me. Maybe other people think they feel differently. I don't give a shit because I liked it. And this is what I think. But
Awesome.
yeah, they kind of set it up for maybe a trilogy. I don't know how I feel about that. That might be pushing it a little too far. But I genuinely liked Happy Death Day to You. So for anybody looking for new films to watch, or just you enjoy reading reviews because you want to know more about the movie before you watch it, head over to horrormetalsounds.com, the horror show, and check out our latest round of What's Hot or Not in Horror.
Awesome.
And I think that's all I've got about the reviews this week, Joseph.
Okay, awesome stuff. I did read your review of it, and I'm actually intrigued to watch it now. I'm very finicky with my movies, I guess. I'm old school. We grew up in an era with some of the best, you know what I mean? So it's hard to jump on board with stuff that's coming out and current now, because it's not from the pure bloods, so to speak. But at the same time,
I knew
what? I'm not, and that's the thing. I'm not like an elitist snob where I'm not going to touch anything. Boris Karloff didn't appear in it. I love a whole variety of different stuff, and I'm looking forward to seeing a bunch of stuff. And now, actually, that movie is on the list.
Well, you got to watch both of them. You definitely have to watch the first one because it's awesome.
Yeah, something. I'm not one of those people. I got to start at the beginning. I am not, and I've seen people do it. It's like, especially. My favorite movies, inside and outside horror. One of them is LOTR, okay? And yes. if you watch the third part first, and you tell me that you have never seen one or two, you're gonna have to call like a medic, because I'm gonna, my head's gonna fucking explode.
Well, it would be a little weird to start at the third film in a trilogy. I don't know. I just find that very strange.
There are people that do shit like that. They're like, oh yeah, I turned it on, I was watching it. I'm like, dude, if you see a number on it, don't watch it until you see one, because you're I mean, maybe I'm not OCD, but it's like, it destroys me. I won't fucking sleep. Okay, look, I got the movies here. I don't care if you're in California. I'll fly you the fuck in, okay? We'll have popcorn. I'll make some fucking chili. It'll be a beautiful thing. Don't watch the fucking movie out of sequence. I'm sorry, that's my rant for the week.
It's all good. It's all good. So we will move into our next topic of conversation. There's just not, I don't know. I'm not creative. I'm too damn tired for
we're going to move slow into that. We're going to go real slow.
So Joe brought up a good topic of conversation the other day. He said, this is something I want to touch base on.
How it relates to me, right?
It does, and I honestly, I feel like we kind of all have a way to relate to this. Whether you're a musician, whether you're a writer, a filmmaker, what have you. If you're an artist in some way, I think we've all experienced biting off more than we can chew, maybe is a good way of putting it, but I'll let you start us off since this is your topic.
Hang on. I'm still chewing.
I was really going to be like, wait a minute, are you snacking? Like, starving. You're snacking in front of me? Like, that's not fair.
I mean, I could definitely sneak behind. See this right here? I could just go around the corner there. My pantry's right there. And I could actually get like all kinds of shit out of there, but I'm not going to do that while we're on here. All right. So I'm going to go. Right, exactly. My wife is down that way too, and if she sees me doing it, I'm gonna get. Anyway, all right. So here's the deal, and this is something that I wonder, and I wonder how people view what I do sometimes too. Is there a limit to how many bands you should be in, how many pictures you should paint, how many books you should write, how many films you should make? How many is too many? What's the point break in people's eyes? I mean, I'm in
You mean
personally,
like all at one time?
huh?
You mean all at one time?
Yeah. Sorry, there was a little snafu there for a second. Um, right, at one time, exactly. Not over the course or duration of your life or your career as a writer or a musician or a filmmaker, but at one time. Um, Personally, I could speak for myself, and that's why this topic came into light. Was because I'm wondering, because I'm actually kind of comfortable doing what I'm doing. I'm very happy to be involved in the projects that I'm in and the people that I'm working with and all the stuff that I get to do and to act in. And I'm personally in probably 6 projects right now. Is somebody else out there sitting back going, man, that's just way too many. That's just too much. And if so, why? I want to know why you would think that. I want to know what makes people tick a little bit, I guess. Why would, and then there are other people that I've spoken to, and they're like, dude, grab everything. Get everything you can get your hands on just get in there and enjoy what, if you love it, just roll around in it and then have fun. And to me, that's what it's about. It's about the love of the craft. This isn't about, now, I'm speaking personally, Stevie. This isn't, I'm not going to generalize. I'm going to speak for myself. Uh, I do it because I absolutely adore the craft. I've loved what I have done since I started doing it. I hit a snare drum once back in 4th grade, and I never looked back. You know what I mean? That was it. I love the people. I love the camaraderie. I love I love the whole thing, man. It's so much fun to be in that thing, but mostly the people. It's about being around everybody and doing something collectively, and it's nice to know that people appreciate what you do, and it shows when you go out places and people come up and they say, hey, that was fun, that was great, a good time, I remember you, or whatever.
Well, yeah, I guess if you're in it for the right reasons, and your heart is in the right place and you're passionate about it and you enjoy what you do, I don't know. And again, as long as you have the attention span for it and you don't get burnt out, I think that you really don't want to put a limit on yourself because, then you're going to end up feeling like maybe you missed out or, but then on the other side of that, you also can get to where you don't enjoy doing it, if that makes sense.
That's true, where it becomes a chore, and a burden, and that's when you shouldn't do it. And that I know people that continue, to do it, and they complain all the way through it. It's like, look, if you, and I'm not going to call anybody out by name, but I'm just going to say that if you are having a hard time doing that, then it's not for you to do. Like if I get to a point, and everybody knows in all the projects that I'm in, if it ever becomes like, not fun, I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm done. I'm not going to do it. And there's absolutely no reason for me to back away from any of the stuff that I'm doing right now, because the people that I'm doing it with are all fucking awesome. I mean, I'm very, very blessed, very lucky to have the things that I have in front of me with that I'm doing right now. And, we'll talk about that, and of course, in greater length, because I'm I'm an egomaniac, right? No, I'm not. Uh, I think that if it does become that burden, though, that you're doing the wrong thing. For me personally, I don't have that problem. I mean, one of the problems that I have is time management.
Well, when you're in 6 different fucking projects, I believe that there's not enough hours in the day for you.
No, there's not. And it's never boring. It's never like a job. we'll get to that in the next segment or two. I got something to show everybody here, and I mean, I go from like clockwork down the line to things, and all the people that I work with are very simplistic in approach to working. Either they've all done this, prior, or they're just normally adept to being easy to work with.
Yeah.
I am.
I think that as long as everybody involved is on the same page and you can continue with like you can continue creating in a stress-free environment and you're not missing other things, or you're not you don't find yourself prioritizing incorrectly, then I don't think you should put a limit on the projects that you're involved in, as long as you can find that happy medium, which I think you do very well. So I applaud you for that. I think you do a damn good job at making it fucking look easy.
Thank you, Stevie. Much appreciated.
It's the truth though, because a lot of people don't have the attention span, B, the schedule, or C, the drive or the want to have so much you're involved in. You genuinely love it, which I think makes it easy for you. So I guess my opinion of it is that, like I said, as long as you are not finding yourself with your priorities out of order, and you're not finding yourself struggling to make time for things, I think fuck it, don't put a limit on how many things you work on at one time.
Agreed.
But there is a but, comma but. If you do find that you're not enjoying it anymore, it is okay to take a break. And I don't think I realized that it was okay to take a break, because sometimes and here recently, I was feeling like maybe I had made an excuse. I was making excuses why I had stepped away from writing for a little while. It just, and a lot of people, they just kind of think like, oh, they're done. They wrote their couple of books. This person's done. So-and-so's done. No, you know what it was? I didn't enjoy it anymore. I had like 3 things I was working on, and I kind of was beating myself up over not being able to finish not a one. You know what I mean? I found myself struggling to finish not one, not two, but all of them that I was working on. And so I said, fuck it, I'm done. I just don't want to write anymore. And I realize now, looking back at it, is I was just burning myself out. I was forcing myself to write things that I wasn't enjoying writing. And I decided to stick with the reviews and stick with, blogging and other types of writing. So, I mean, talking about it with people, I never stopped writing. I was just writing in a different way. And then, you talk to other people, and people that genuinely enjoy reading what you put out there, and they say, you really need to write something more. I really want more. I want this. I want that. And somebody very recently was talking to me about the characters and how she just really could connect to some of the characters. She's like, I really need more. And then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, let me just put my feet back in for a second and see how I feel. You know what I mean? And we'll get more into that later about where that led me this last week. But I think if you can do it, yes, do it. If you are not happy doing it, it's okay to take a break, and that's just, it goes in the same thing. Like, whatever you do in your career, if you're not fucking happy, it's okay to quit and find something else, because no one wants to be miserable. And I think too many people force themselves into misery because they feel like they have to, or they need to, or other people fucking think they have to. And just think for yourself and be happy. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. And, but not to go off topic too much, but you are a perfect example of someone who genuinely enjoys keeping yourself busy, the more you have to do, I feel like the happier you are.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I'm OCD and hyperactive, so it's you know, it's like a missile that needs to be busy before it blows up. You know what I mean? Even though it's got a primary function, it still needs to be busy on the way there. You know what I mean? You gotta
Oh
give
yeah.
it like Sudoku puzzles or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, no, I do. I love doing what I do. And again, sometimes it's not always so easy, Stevie. And a band, being in a band is a contact sport. You know what I mean? This is like, you're in the arena with everybody. Composer, if I was going to pick up my acoustic over there and start writing a solo album, I would be dealing with me pretty much, and that's a little different from what I do when I go with the guys and, play in a band. My biggest fear, right? This and I hope to God nobody's watching this shit because I'm dumping it all out
no,
here, right?
Bree is actually in the chat tonight. She said, I finally found the chat.
Hello, Bree. Hello, welcome. Finally, you made it. Hey, listen, you know what? Me and Stevie had a hard time finding our way here tonight, but we got here too. We're all good. What I was saying now is that I'm gonna bear a piece of my soul. Okay.
Do it, man.
Now this is a very important piece. Okay. This isn't just about the way I feel about things. There are like 15 or 20 other people involved in this, collectively in different bands, and everybody. I know I do. I believe it or not, I feel the same way. I have a reverence for each project that I do. It's not like, I like one of them would be the redheaded stepchild of the project list, or I like this one better because it makes it cleans the floor nicer. I'm not like that. That's not the way I operate.
Yeah. You love all your children equally, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm a child in some of these projects, so you know what I'm saying, and that's the thing. It's an eclectic mix of stuff that I'm doing. But there are so many cool fucking people that I'm doing it with that it makes it easy, Stevie. You know what I'm saying? And not seeing because I meant saying, and I don't know if anybody realizes. See this. This is decaffeinated, okay? And
that's like, the problem. Joe's going into withdrawals. Everybody.
I'm tripping over myself, so I went and broke out the Coke. If you just bear with me. Because caffeine is God. That's how you survive doing the shit we do. But it's the people, Stevie, that make it real easy. And my biggest fear is, like I said, that, other people are going to be upset with me taking time to do X, Y, and Z.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt, but
no.
Fuck them. If you need to take time as whatever your channel of artistry is, if you need to take time for any reason, anybody that has the audacity not to respect the fact that they need to step back and give you space to do you, fuck them, because that person obviously doesn't respect you enough to understand that you've got your own shit going on, whether it's another project or whether it's taking care of yourself and getting your head right. Anybody who can't respect that or understand it, if you are the type of person that is going to call yourself an artist and then not have the capability of understanding that a person either A, has other shit going on, or B, needs to take a break, I don't know what kind of artist you are, because we're all a little fucked up in the head. We're all a little crazy. You know what I mean? We all have shit going on, and sometimes we want to do other shit.
True.
So
very true.
Don't let that be a fear. Bree agrees. She did the preach emoji. So don't let that ever frighten you or bring you down, Joe. I think it's great that you shared that is one of your fears, but that is, I'm so over people and their greedy ass nature. You know what I mean?
Well, it's hard. One of the projects that I brought back, and I'll topic that hopefully before the end of the show too, is DTA. And that was a baby of mine for 14 years. You know, I worked very hard from ground level up. I built that band with another guy, and we held on to it for like 14 years. And the people, the fans that knew me from that band were very happy that I had transitioned into something. I shifted gears, so to speak, and moved into a faster lane, you know, and a further driving lane. And I got into an arena that I could be a little bit more global with shit, which was awesome. And then that was separate because I was moving from A to B. You know, I was only in A, and then A was gone, and there was B. So the people that like me as a person or whatever, like me playing whatever, become friends of the band or whatever else, they liked me in A, but A is gone, but they like me in B now too. Now I have C, D, F, G, you know, sometimes Y and Z, and, you know, and I got like, well, and it's all the way down that line. And, you know, there's 500 projects to shoot from, and somebody's got their sights on one. They don't know which one to, you know, because there's like 30 of them. That's one of the things that I worry about, that people aren't going to, hopefully, all the playing that I'm doing on the albums that I'm playing on and all the stuff that I'm doing won't get lost in translation. And the broken down portion of translating it from me to you is that I fucking love metal. I've been doing it forever, and I want you to fucking hear me play. That's it. So enjoy the shit. If you can't get it,
there you go. I mean, you said it beautifully. You fucking love what you do. And that's all that matters. So that's the thing, you know, as long as you keep people in the loop, you know, and you're marketing yourself and your projects properly, people are going to know what to look for, where to go see you play, what, you know, what to buy, what to watch, what to listen to. They're going to know because you tell them. And if they're genuinely interested, they're not going to get lost. And you know what? You're such an approachable person that how is it anybody ever going to ever say to themselves, oh, I don't think I could bother Joe and ask him what he's talking about.
You know, I'll give you a point in case. I'll give you a point in case. Last night I went to see my friend Bobby in a project that he's in, and
yeah, Bobby on the show. We had him on the show.
Right, Bobby Lucas from Attacker, and like he's in another 300 projects, just like I am. One of the projects is Purgatory. It's an Iron Maiden thing, and I went to see him there, and there was a guy from. I live in Jersey, and this guy is like from the furthest end. He's almost in Ohio. He's so far into Pennsylvania. He's almost at, you know, the very end of Pennsylvania, in a very rural setting, no less. And a friend of ours, my friend Jeff, was talking to us in a circle, you know, and he introduced everybody, and he goes, "Are you Joe Moore?" And I'm looking at the guy like, "Do I owe you money?" I mean, you know, and he's like, "No, I know your name. You know, I heard you were like a good drummer or something." And I'm just like, well, yeah, of course, because I don't owe you money. I'll speak to you now. You know.
Oh God.
I thought it was one of my creditors coming in like in sheep's clothing and shit, like, Joe, right?
The loan shark from 1996.
I kid. But, you know, the dude was very cool. And at the end of the night last night, I mean, we were just, you know, we were going back and forth. And for anybody that knows me, Stevie knows I don't drink. But I was very happy to meet this guy. It was a lot of fun, and they were great people. And I brought him a shot, you know. And he goes, "You know what, dude? You know, you're pretty cool." And I was like, "What the fuck? We expected something, you know? What should I? Hey, let me be a douchebag, you know." Hang on 1 second.
You are so far from douchey. It's awesome.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, I got my asshole clothes in the car. Let me go change. You know, come back in. You know, I'm not that way. And you know what? I've always gravitated to people like that. And obviously, you know, you and I, we're co-hosting a show together, so you are not a douche either. You're awesome. And,
I mean, I'm kind of a douche. I mean, somebody said it to me today very, very nicely. I was in Tallahassee for work, and we were at dinner, and my friend says to me, you know, we were talking about a specific person, and he says, "No, he's an asshole. You and me, we're rude and petty, but we're not assholes." So right. I don't was like, oh wow, you know, I never thought of it that way. That is really true. I
Right.
am kind of a rude douche, but I'm not an asshole.
No, not an asshole.
No.
Right. So no, that's the thing. I mean, you can have douche-like traits and not be a complete douchebag. There's,
Yes.
there's facets. It's
I think
categorized,
that's just called being a
compartmentalized.
human.
Right. Now you have to encompass and imbibe that whole round table of douchiness to become a douchebag. If you don't own those, they're just qualities. And everybody has them, people. We
Yeah,
all got
exactly.
them.
They're like
You
assholes. Everyone's got one.
Yeah. I mean, there are people that are like you walk into a setting. I walked into a setting once and there was some star power they were playing, and the one guy was not very nice. All right. You know, and I just remarked in my head. I didn't say anything out loud. I just said to myself, wow, that guy doesn't seem happy. Something was off. And one guy I was with was saying, maybe the guy's like that all the time. And I'm like, and I thought about it for a second, and it turned out that I was right. The guy lost his grandfather. But
Oh,
well, yeah, you don't know what you're walking into with people. So one of the things that I would stress to people is don't be fucking judgmental. Don't judge other people for being in 30 projects, for writing 30 books, for being a little quiet sometimes, or get to know somebody before you're so quick to speak. Because it seems like everybody in this world today is just so quickly ready to point out everybody else's flaws. And it's like, you know, you walk a mile in somebody's shoes and then you'll understand them better.
yeah, exactly.
And I'm going,
Instead of lifting people up, people are very,
yeah,
very quick to tear others down.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
unfortunate.
no,
It's unfortunate, but whatever. What can you do?
right.
You can't hug every cat. I
No,
don't I don't think
don't,
anyone gets that reference. It's really stupid, but you can't hug every cat.
I get it.
Oh God,
I'm gonna say this to everybody once. Don't be a douchebag.
I like
That's
it.
it.
I like
That's
it.
it.
It was very quiet. It was very quiet and threatening. I liked it. From the chat, Bree said to you that she loves that you do something you truly love, Joe, and that in itself is an inspiration and a reason to support you and your projects.
Wow,
So
thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
I
That's
mean,
sweet.
at least one of our listeners understands.
Yeah, well, yeah, thank you, Bree. Appreciate it. Seriously, that is very appreciated. And that's one of the biggest reasons I do the shit that I do is because I want people to see what I see in it and to get out of it what I get out of it. I can be very childlike, in my
Oh, you think?
approach to seeing things. I get whoa, I get excited, I get I'm very rambunctious. You know what I mean? And I enjoy things, and I want people to get that out of the things that I do. That's my goal. I mean, my ultimate goal is that you enjoy. I'm giving you something to enjoy as much as I enjoy it, and in hopes that you get the same thing out of it. And if it's not your cup of tea or whatever, then good luck. And I hope to God you find what you're looking for. But that's my goal and that whole thing. Um, I want to tell you that I am fucking absolutely enamored in the fact that you're writing again.
Yeah.
I want nothing more than to read. I'm waiting now. I gotta wait and see. I'm gonna be like grilling you every show. Can you drop a chapter?
No, I don't do that. I don't do that.
Sorry, excuse me.
No peeking.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's look, you're so much better at segueing than I am. I'm not allowed to segue anymore. I'm just like, okay, end of conversation, move on. But yeah, that brings us on to our final we're in the last 12 minutes here of our Sunday night shit talking session. So why not shamelessly self-promote ourselves? And nice segue, Joseph. Thank you.
You are
And
welcome.
I am writing again for those of you that didn't know.
I'm sorry I dropped it.
No, you're whatever. I don't know. I posted about it the other day on like Twitter and Instagram and shit. But yeah, so over the last like couple of weeks, like I've just been getting a lot of like weird like compliments on shit that I wrote like at this point 2-3 years ago, um not to say that the stuff that I wrote in the last stuff that I wrote wasn't as good, but just stuff that I had kind of been like, I stepped away from it and was just kind of like, I can do better, blah, blah, blah. And then people just randomly saying, when are you gonna start writing again? When are you gonna do this? When are you gonna do that? And I just said to myself the other day, I was like, I woke up Monday and I said, I think I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna revisit something that I abandoned, and I'm gonna start fresh with it. I'm gonna salvage what I can from the manuscript, and I'm just gonna start fresh. And that is exactly what I did for 7 hours straight. Like, I didn't realize what time it was.
Wow.
Like, I just kind of like went into this like weird zone that I haven't been in a really long time. And all of a sudden it was like 6:30.
Wow.
And I was like, I haven't showered. I need to fucking go get groceries. Like, right now that, has to, clean and make food and do other things. But it was insane. And I didn't, for a very long time, I forgot I had that in me. And I guess I had a lot to say. I just had so much to say. And like, even Bree, she can attest to it. She just said in the chat that I literally ignored her for 7 hours. I didn't answer my phone. I was in the zone, and it felt really good. I haven't been there. I haven't gone to that place. And like I said, I had a lot that needed to come out, and it was awesome. And so I'm very happy to say that I am 30,000 words closer to finishing a book that I started in end of 2017. It is a spin-off book from Never Say Die on the fan favorite character of Trevor. So the book tentatively is titled Trevor, King of Zombies. I'll see if I can muster up something more creative in the future. But yeah, that's big news. I'm writing again, guys. Yay!
Yeah, come on, give it up, people. That's awesome shit. Is anybody else in the chat tonight?
No, just Bree. We've got
what? Bree's enough.
I'm looking at the stats here. 3 people are watching, but only Bree's talking. So shame on you.
Shame on you, you bastards.
Bree could figure out the chat this after 3 episodes of not being able to.
I don't even know how to get in the fucking chat, but I'll figure it out. I will. Right after I figure out how to tell you about everything I'm doing now, because this is going to tell you how much time we got.
We have 10 minutes.
Oh my God, I better hurry the fuck up. Okay. We'll start with one of the latest additions to the project line. One that I'm very happy about. You all may remember a band from the 80s called Metal Church. The singer's name, the first vocalist in that band was David Wayne. David Wayne had a side project. Obviously, he was called the Reverend because he was the vocalist for Metal Church. You know what I mean? So he became obviously the Reverend. And the name of the project that he started is Reverend. The project is being resurrected by a former guitarist of that project, Bill. When he's on my page, you can see Bill. Bill will tell you everything about it, I'm sure. But the name of the project is Reverend, and Bill was a very close personal friend of David Wayne, and is actually the keeper of the keys in regards to that project. And I was approached through Bobby Lucas, who does Attacker, Seven Witches, and a ton of other stuff, to come in and maybe lay some drum tracks for him. And I said, yeah, that would be fucking amazing. I mean, I would be honored to even touch anything that David Wayne was associated with, you know. And sure enough, we did a little bit of chit chat back and forth, and we locked the bass player. The bass player, his name is Alan Johnson. He's from a band in Canada called Exciter. They've been around for a long time, a very iconic band. And, I kind of wonder how I get into these things sometimes. And I'm in a group chat with them and I'm going, Jesus Christ, these guys are fucking awesome. You know what I mean? How did I get here?
As you're putting yourself out there, you're making it known that you're talented and committed, and this is how you give yourself opportunities to be involved with awesome people and awesome musicians, because you're making yourself available to them, and you're passionate about it. So of course people want to be involved with you in their projects. It's an amazing opportunity for you.
Thank you, Stevie. I'm enamored, believe me. I don't see all that. All I know is that I'm standing with these guys, and we're talking about putting a record out, and I'm looking back at the lineage of it and the history of it, and this thing spans all the way back to like '83. So there's so much history, and it's right up my alley, which is very cool.
Which is amazing.
Thank you, Stevie. I appreciate it. I really do. This stuff is very, very near and dear and close to my heart. Metal Church was one of the first bands that I got into way back in the day. That were American metal. There was a lot of European stuff coming across that I love, but they were one of the bands that came across. And a quick funny story is there was a radio station in Long Island. Okay, I'm in New Jersey. There was no internet radio back then. There was no, nothing. All you had was, your stations in New York, and that was it. And on a Friday night, if the cloud cover was low enough for the radio signals to bounce off it and find its way, you could get a station called WRTN. They did a metal thing on Friday nights. And I heard it once, and I was like, for like half a year, I went to go back. Incidentally, that was the first station that I heard the band Attacker on. And this is going back to like 1981. 1980, yeah, 81, 82, 82, 83, 82, 83. And I heard Metal Church on this thing. I heard a piece of it, and then it faded out. I was like, fuck, because I didn't know who it was. And it was like the coolest shit, and there was no, who do you ask? There's no fucking internet and shit like that. You can't just text, hey, dude, what the fuck, So I had to wait a week, Pray to God that the clouds were I'm reciting like fucking pagan chants in my backyard. Cloud low, trying to get and finally, the next week, luckily enough, we had low barometer pressure. I'm like, yes, and the fucking station came through, and I found out who Metal Church from Seattle was, and I was in love with that band ever since because of the vocal. I heard David Wayne scream, like one scream on the mic, and I was just like, fuck, this guy is awesome. And sure enough, it was them. And down the line, some 40 years later, I'm standing, in a room talking to Bobby about laying a drum track for the project with none other than that David Wayne started. So I'm very honored to be there. That's first and foremost. And I know I don't want to, I could go for days. I mean, even tired, I got more energy than God. You know what I mean? Number two, these puppies are in.
Oh, right?
Yeah. This is DTA. This is called No Rest in Peace. This is a CD that we put out. I'll give you roll the credits, Bob. There we go. Okay, there we go.
Like car sickness.
This was a 2003 CD that the band put out back in 2003. Okay,
right. I like it.
I reprinted this in its entirety. I did not remix this in any way, shape, or form. It's exactly the way it is. There is one subtle change at the end of this thing, and I'm going to wait for people to figure out what that subtle change is. You got to tell me. I am not going to tell you here. But this is available now. This is available now. If you hit me up, for $4 plus $2 shipping and handling. You can Venmo or PayPal me. Hit me up on my inbox at my page, Facebook page, or whatever. Throw a rock at me, throw a brick through the window.
Email Joe, dtadrummer@gmail.com, or like go be friends with him on Facebook because he's fucking friends with half the planet.
The other half is still sleeping.
Take your $6 and fucking support him. You know, if you like this kind of music, if this is your thing, buy it. I'm sure he'll sign it for you.
We have actually DTA reconvened here in my house for chili, which Danny the singer didn't eat, and I'm still fucking pissed at him because he told me he wanted chili. I made chili, and the fuck he comes. I said, Dan, you can eat chili? No, I'm not hungry. I'm like, what do you mean you're not hungry? I made chili. No, I don't want it. I'm like, dude, yeah. So anyway, forget Danny and the chili. We'll go back to while they were here. They signed pictures. I have I do have a box of pictures, glossy 8x10s that were signed by DTA, the current members, and they're going to go out in there with the CD. So when you buy one of these puppies, you get one of those. Anyway, we are set and consigned to start playing on the 24th of March. We are going back to studio for first rehearsal. Hopefully get the juices going again and get moving on that. Shifting gears quickly, Symptom is a Black Sabbath tribute that I'm currently involved in. You're going to all see that around here in the area very soon. I'm very psyched about that. I've always been a Bill Ward fan. I love Black Sabbath. That's going to be a lot of fun for me. Eat Lead has a big show coming up in June 15th at the oh god, what the hell was the bazaar? Brooklyn Bazaar. We were playing with Attacker, great show. Attacker and Deceased will be there. Jimmy and Chris Polino were from Eat Lead. Were both members in Attacker. Jimmy I met in Deceased, not Attacker. And I was in Blood Feast when I met Jimmy in Deceased. And that's how that whole Eat Lead thing came to be. A quick lineage, and down the pipe we go to June 15th at the Brooklyn Bazaar. So I want to see you all out there. There will be more shows coming. I got a ton of other shit going on. Go to my page. I'm sorry, Stevie, I yapped a lot.
You are good. You fascinate me because your whole life is like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. And I mean, that's all, folks. That's all we got right now. So as always, please like, comment, share, fucking subscribe. Do something with yourself besides just tuning in and not talking. Look at Bree. Bree talked.
Bree is awesome. Thank you, Bree.
Adrian's usually on. He's not here. Probably somewhere sleepy in Ireland.
Yeah, it's Ireland.
I know. I don't know. Maybe on Sundays they can't get on the internet. No, I'm just being fucking mean. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in to our random Sunday night shit talk session. Check out, of course, always someonereadthis.com, horrormetalsounds.com, all awesome. Things Joe and Stevie, and be amazing. And as Bree, be like Bree, subscribe. She said, I'm subscribed, so suck it.
Thank you, Bree. You know what? When the t-shirts come out, Bree's going to get the first one. That's it. And they will come out, people, so you better subscribe. And then you better have
I'm too cheap for that. I'll just take Sharpie and draw on a white shirt.
Stick figure. little stick figure guy. Horror sound.
Adrian was here. He just
Adrian.
Wait, what?
He's nursing a hangover. Come on, dude. What are you doing? You're too quiet tonight.
You bastard.
Adrian, look what I got, dude. They're here. Yours is on its way. All right.
Oh, so cool.
Yep.
Well,
Adrian, I want you to tell me. I want Adrian to tell me when he gets his what the subtle change that I made on this disc is.
We're gonna hold him to it. But now he has tuned in too late because we are out of time. And I will say next week I again am working and will not be able to do the show Sunday night either. So we're gonna have to take a 2-week break.
I'm not doing it without you.
No, of course. Wait, if you did, I'd be like, no, absolutely not. You can't have the past
It's like
Um,
peanut butter
so
without jelly. You can't have that shit.
no show on the 18th, but we will return Monday, March 25th, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Yep.
You got it. Yes.
I'm the worst, and I can't remember anything. All right, guys, you are awesome. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you that tuned in live, and thank you for any of you who have stuck around this long in the recorded broadcast.
Bree and Adrian, thank you guys for
And
your
the
support.
secret watchers that don't talk in the chat.
All you secret watchers, I'm watching you. I know. I see you. We can see you. We see
All right,
you.
guys. Thank you so much. And we will see you in 2 weeks.
Later.
Bye.
Have a great one. Enjoy, people. Love you. Bye.